Why it matters. Until now, it was understood that the White House only recently learned about Flynn lying to the FBI, which he admitted yesterday in court. But Trump and White House administration officials will likely have to answer for this tweet because it introduces a new piece to the Russia puzzle that Bob Mueller could specifically use to get more information about how much Trump knew. Be smart. Trump confidants are worried about an obstruction of justice case being built against Trump, according to Mike Allen's reporting this morning. But a tweet isn't going to get Trump in legal trouble, and any legal action against him or anyone in his inner circle would take weeks of probing by Mueller and his team. Palestinian officials say they got no clear answers from the White House regarding the concerns they raised. Trump is expected to give a speech on the matter next Wednesday. What they're saying: in the last 24 hours, the Palestinians have been trying to get the international community to push the Trump administration to refrain from any steps regarding Jerusalem. Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas called the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia Mohammed bin Salman, nicknamed MBS, and asked him to intervene with the U.S. on this issue. MBS has a very close relationship with Trump's son-in-law and senior advisor Jared Kushner. According to Palestinian officials, MBS told Abbas that King Salman and him personally see the issue of Jerusalem as a top priority. Palestinian officials say Abbas also called King Abdullah of Jordan, Egyptian President Sisi, French President Macron, President of Turkey Erdogan, and the emirs of Kuwait and Qatar. In all the phone calls, Abbas asked his counterparts to press the Trump administration not to take any moves regarding Jerusalem. Abbas spokesman Nabila Bourdine said Abbas told his counterparts that such a move by the U.S. will have dangerous consequences for the whole region. When Paul Manafort told Trump he shouldn't go on TV anymore, Trump yelled, "Did you say I shouldn't be on TV on Sunday? I'll go on TV anytime I gdam thing want, and you won't say another thing word about me. You're a political pro. Let me tell you something. I'm a pro-life." Trump's fast food diet on Trump Force One were four major food groups: McDonald's, Kentucky Fried Chicken, pizza and Diet Coke. His go-to McDonald's order was 2 Big Macs, 2 Filet-O-Fish, and a chocolate malted. When the Access Hollywood tape dropped, Trump said, "That doesn't like something I would say." When Reince Priebus encouraged Trump to drop out of the race before he lost in the biggest electoral landslide in American history, Trump responded, "First of all, I'm going to win. And second, if the Republican Party is going to run away from me, then I will take you all down with me. But I'm not going to lose." Katie McFarland, transition advisor to Trump, wrote in an email that Flynn would talk with Kislyak after Obama's sanctions were announced. She said the key will be Russia's response over the next few days. White House lawyer Ty Cobb said it would have been political malpractice not to discuss sanctions. The Presidential Transition Guide specifically encourages contact with and outreach to foreign dignitaries. President Trump said on Saturday that the final corporate tax rate may be 22%, above the 20% rate he had insisted on leading up to last night's Senate vote approving the bill, per the Wall Street Journal. Why it matters. According to the Journal's Richard Rubin, during Senate debate, Republican leaders beat back attempts to go above 20%, including calls from Sen's Marco Rubio R. Fla. and Mike Lee R. Utah to pay for a larger child tax credit, and from Sen. Susan Collins R. Maine for her priorities. Go deeper. What else will be negotiated between the House and Senate versions? Context. This loyalty to Flynn is reflective of how Trump has always talked about him. Back in May, Trump told NBC's Lester Holt that Flynn is a very good man, even after he knew that Flynn had lied to Vice President Mike Pence about his contacts with the Russians. Why it matters. Instead of distancing himself from Flynn like he did after George Papadopoulos pleaded guilty for the same thing, Trump is defending Flynn and claiming that he didn't do anything unlawful during the transition. And that is curiously the same time frame Flynn is willing to give information about to special counsel Bob Mueller when he will reportedly testify about Trump. One question: did the White House previously know that Flynn lied to the FBI in addition to Pence? Trump's tweet suggests as much, when he writes that he had to fire General Flynn because he lied to the vice president and the FBI, which hasn't been reported. What happened? Mueller removed him after a discovery of texts in which Strzok and her colleague, Lisa Page, who served on Mueller's team until July, were reacting to current events in ways that could be construed as critical of the president. He's been reassigned to the Human Resources Department of the FBI. The Washington Post defenders of Page and Strzok insisted the issue is overblown and that there was no misconduct between the two. The crypto rocket shot past $11,000 this week, just hours after eclipsing $10,000, which itself was mere days after pushing past $9,000. It then slid sharply before surging yet again. Now Wall Street is about to join in the fun. On Friday, the Commodity Futures Trading Commission greenlighted plans by the CME and the Chicago Board Options Exchange to introduce Bitcoin futures. Nasdaq is planning to offer its own futures next year, while Cantor Fitzgerald will introduce a Bitcoin options product. Why it matters getting listed on some of the largest exchanges in the country is a tectonic shift for Bitcoin, which has been associated with drug dealing and called a fraud by the chief executive of the nation's largest bank. But, because the futures are cash settled, traders will receive dollars on the settlement date instead of Bitcoin. The street technically won't be getting its hands dirty by buying the stuff directly. There is a flip side: extreme volatility, operational risk, security challenges. Human rights groups complained. Rohingya complained. Journalists and pundits asked if France's legacy as a fearless crusader for the world's most marginal wasn't now in question. By Friday, France's heart won out in an emotional encounter with 16 Rohingya refugees. His voice trembled after he greeted the men, women and children who had been forced to flee their homes in Myanmar for wretched camps in Bangladesh. Francis begged them for forgiveness for what they had endured and the indifference of the world to their plight. His Holiness the Presence of God today also is called Rohingya.